Vito, first ballot Hall of Famer. They questioned if my guy Brandon Marshall's a Hall of Famer. Brandon Marshall would have come down with that one. I would have looked like a genius. We could all blame Taysom Hill. But unfortunately, the Saints win. They've won 9 in a row, Jenna. And I have not won Super 6 this year, unfortunately. It's a big surprise. I thought I'd have won it by now.
The next time you win will be the first time you win, but keep trying.
This year,
download the Fox
I won it last year in the playoffs.
Super 6 for your chance to win $100,000 of Terry Bradshaw's money. Obviously, as always, for more, you can always head to the Fox Sports app. All right, we're going to head to Green Bay now. Little Eagles and Packers. And this played out according to script, guys, right? Eagles struggled behind Carson Wentz. Packers thrived behind Aaron Rodgers. I worked out and ate a bunch of healthy snacks. Status quo all around from everyone. Doug Peterson finally put in Jalen Hurts in the third, and he tossed his first career touchdown pass, and he brought Philly back, but it wasn't enough. Green Bay Packers still won. Here's Eagles head coach Doug Peterson on his quarterback situation.
Hey, Doug, who's going to start a quarterback for you against the Saints?
You know, you guys are listening. You got to let me get through this game. You know, you just heard me say we needed a spark in this game to try to get some things going. You know, I've got to get through injuries. I got to get through the tape. You know, there's a lot of things that I'm gonna consider and evaluate before before anything's decided. But you know, look, opportunity arose, and you know, like I said, we just needed that opportunity to get us back in a football game today, and we came up short.
If I'm reading Doug Peterson, man, he said it. We needed a spark. Clearly, this team needed something, and we all saw what the something was. It was probably a quarterback change. But Brandon, I'll ask you, what does this mean now for Carson Wentz?
Yeah, I mean, when I was watching this game and I saw him pull him and he's standing on the sideline, I just immediately thought about, you know, what's going through his head. And I honestly believe that this is really good for him. Take the Philadelphia Eagles out of it, their schedule, you know, the quarterback competition may be moving forward. But for him, you know, I automatically put myself in his shoes. As a player, when your team isn't playing well, and you're not playing well, it is hard every single day to stand in front of the media, to stand in front of your team and continue to stand strong. Like, it's hard. So I feel like this situation is a lose-lose for the Philadelphia Eagles and Carson Wentz. So the best thing for him right now is kind of sit back and just take on that role of that backup quarterback and figure out what he needs to do to move forward. I immediately think about some of the losing seasons that we've had, or the bad seasons that I've been a part of. Like, it's hard to walk into the building every single day and look people in the eyes. It's a billion-dollar business, multi-million-dollar athletes. The pressure to perform and win every single day is extremely high. I remember the Jets, and I'm gonna call out one of my buddies here, Vito, our ball boy and one of our equipment managers. He stopped talking to me my second year at the Jets. He stopped talking to me in week 8. One day I went out there to get up there to do a route, and I'm like, hey, Vito, and he looked at me, gave me a crazy face, and didn't even respond. And me and him start arguing in the middle of the field. It was like, you guys need to lead better. You guys need to play better. And I tell that story because it doesn't matter if it's the ball boy, the head coach, the owner, the energy around a losing player, around a losing organization, it's bad during this point of the season, Nick.
What?
Yeah, Vito, okay. I called you out.
Hold on a second. Just wait a second. Wait a second.
Yeah, we can't move on.
I have a Carson Wentz take here that I'm very excited to discuss. Can we please get a full House of Athlete podcast just about the interaction with you and Vito the ball boy? Vito's career after that, what happened to him, how he had the audacity to call you out. What? You got shipped out and Vito's still there. That's why Brandon wouldn't take $10 million to play for him. They're like, you know what? If you're going to let Vito talk trash to me and he keeps his job, I'll go anywhere else. I'm not playing for you guys anymore. Okay, all right, we need more on this later. On Carson Wentz, I think I figured it out. Because what Brandon, it sounds like he's saying is this year, he needs to take a step back, and the Eagles next year probably need to move on, and he needs a change of scenery if he's going to have a chance at salvaging at this point his career. The problem is they can't cut him. Next year to cut him is $60 million against their cap. And the following year, 2 years from now, to cut him is $40 million against their cap. So he's uncuttable. So the question then becomes, is he tradable? And I think he is. You won't get anything back for him. And I think he's tradable to the Colts. The Colts know Phillip Rivers isn't back next year. Who's the Colts head coach? Frank Reich. What's the only time in Carson Wentz's entire career he's been good? When Frank Reich was the offensive coordinator in Philadelphia. What do the Colts have that the Eagles don't? A great offensive line. Phillip Rivers been sacked 15 times all year. Carson Wentz gets sacked 15 times a month. The Colts are not going to be in a position to be drafting a quarterback. They're too good. They know this is a one-year experiment with Rivers. And so, and if you trade Wentz, the contract adjusts a bit. It's 4 years, $98 million, so just under $25 million a year, which is what they're paying Rivers. And so if you're the Eagles, I don't know if you can rebuild his value the last month or if it's better to sit him the last month. But your only path forward, Wilds, is convincing the Colts to take him. Because otherwise, he can be a backup, but he's got the 5th biggest cap hit in the league next year and a massive cap hit the following year. So you've got to find a way to trade him. You still deal with about $30 million of dead money, but you can deal with that. And I think the Colts are the spot for him. I think it's the only place that threads the needle, Wilds, because I think Wentz is done in Philly.
I love this take. Okay, so you're saying, first of all, I love this take. I love just takes out of the blue during the show. Wonderful take, wonderful take. So in order for Carson Wentz, for these last 4 games, have 0 sacks, 0 interceptions, is basically to sit him. Saints, Cardinals, Cowboys, Washington. Yep. So you think that by building his value, just by keeping him away, he's like a Jordan
keeping him
release.
Healthy and
just
off the
keep
field.
it away. It's like and he'll be healthy. Now, if you're the Colts management, executive squad, and someone comes to this, you come to with this idea, you're like, yeah, I've got the answer to I know we're close to the Super Bowl, we're a Super Bowl contending team. Carson Wentz. Don't you think that is met with like a screw face, just like, I don't know.
Unless Frank Reich signs off on it.
Yes.
Unless Frank Reich signs off on it.
Go ahead, Jay. And remember, Nick, we talked so much about the last year that Carson Wentz played so well. It was with Frank Reich, and he feels so comfortable with him. Brandon, is that a thing that you can reunite with a coach and maybe find some of that mojo or get some of that juju back that you had when you played for him?
That's why I opened up saying that, he just needs to sit down and focus on his own mindset, his mental health. Because I think we're just moving too fast. And Nick, this happens all the time in sports. A player plays bad. Now it's, he needs a change of scenery. Why can't we just give him time and see how he comes back? Prime example. My first 4 years in the league playing in Denver, lights out, 3 years in a row, over 100 catches. I was traded to the Miami Dolphins, 80 catches. Everybody's looking at me, Brandon sucks. Why are we paying him so much money? It got in my head. I dropped ball after ball after ball after ball. I was literally at home after practice going through another practice that I would go through by myself, just trying to put myself in positions that I failed in before. And then what happened a year later? I was traded to the Chicago Bears, and then I went for my best year ever, 118 catches, over 1,500 yards. So I say that because a lot of people thought I was done as a player, right? Why can't it just be that I just need need space to take a deep breath and just back up a little bit? So why do we always have to trade players or say these players are done?
So here's the thing. Well, I'm not saying he's done. But I don't know, and you don't, I'm sure you have a strong opinion on it, but nobody knows if you would have had that success that you had in Chicago if you had stayed in Miami. A change of scenery might have been helpful, or maybe you were just
here's the deal.
Maybe you would have done it either way. I think Carson Wentz needs a change of scenery, Brandon.
Yeah, but listen, I had 4 or 5 different quarterbacks I played with in Miami, right? My offensive coordinator, he had challenges, right? So when you look at Carson Wentz in the same situation, yes, is he pressing? Does he need to fix some things? 100%. But where's his offensive line and where's his pass catchers, right? So let's think about that
that's kind of my point. But that's kind of my point, Brandon. They're not going to be able to fix that in an offseason. They're not. They're up against the cap. Like the issues that are plaguing him that are unrelated to him, they're not going to be able to do a major overhaul. So it's not just that Philly spent a 2nd-round pick on Jalen Hurts, and because of his mobility, maybe he's able to make do with some of their issues on the offensive line a little bit better than Carson. It's also for if I'm Carson Wentz, I want this. If I'm Carson Wentz and I can say I can have a fresh start, I don't have to walk past the Nick Foles statue every day.
Thank you.